they given around $200, around 17,000 we got. Okay, but based on the usage, they're going to reduce from this. Okay, so this is the credit limit available for us. Within that 1 month, we need to use all this. Okay, so now here I'll go for VMs. Then the virtual machines I'm going to create. Yeah, so this is our subscription. Then I'm going to create a new resource group. So based on your project name like this, we can give. I'm giving CloudSoft new
Azure
resource
AVD.
group. CloudSoft new resource group I'm creating. Not as of now, not created, but when we create the VM, resource group also is getting created first.
Without resource group, we can't create VM, right?
No, no, we can add to that. If you have existing resource group, we can add that.
Okay.
So resource group is the higher level of object than these resources. At least one resource group, we need to keep those. Okay, so then I'm using East US here. Then we can choose the available zones. Say which zone you want also, you are selecting. Okay, so then as of now, I'm not keeping any this. Okay, so otherwise we can keep the zone also. Then here, I don't want Windows 10. I'm going to use
No
Ubuntu
server
server.
2020.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ubuntu server I'm choosing. This is the Linux. Okay, so Ubuntu server I'm choosing. And this is the size of the VM. So here we are getting one virtual CPU and 1 GB RAM we are getting. Then in order to log into this, either we have SSH public key or password. Yesterday I said, right, it's recommended to use SSH public key. Then here we need to generate one key, say RSA ED 5525519, which is going to secure one. ED 25519 is the secure one. Okay, so that's the reason I'm going to use ED 25519. That means when it is going to download that or generate the key, it is going to use this format. Then here we need to give a name also. I'm giving my Linux key. Then here in the here inbound rule we are configuring is nothing but it's the NSG rule itself. In the NSG rule, I have opened 22 port. Then we are going to create the disk. So we are getting premium kind of disk we are getting. Okay, and almost 30 GB premium SSD. And we can encrypt the data also. But for this account, like they're not going to provide the encryption. Maybe for the paid one, between that VM and that disk, we are going to use that encryption. Then when we go for the networking, say now here it is creating a new virtual network also is getting created, and it's creating one new like a subnet, and it is attaching one public IP also. All these also have been getting created because we don't have any VNet subnets in that public IP. Okay. So then once we create this security group basic we are choosing. If you want advanced also, we can choose the security group. Then so this is at the NIC or VM level, we have the NSG. In the same way, we can create even on the subnet level also we can use. Then which port we are opening here is 22. I want to make it web server. Then HTTP, HTTPS also I can open. If it is a Windows, I need to open the RDP. I need to open the RDP port number. I need to open there. Okay, then here this option is delete public IP and NIC when VM is deleted. By default, they are going to preserve, but uh, but for practice purpose, this is also better. When we delete the VM, automatically this also is getting okay. So then accelerated network is for the production servers is better. We are going to get like accelerated networking, but for the free account they are not giving. And going forward, we can attach this VM to a load balancer also for the production. If you have any load balancer or application gateway, we can attach also. Okay, so this is all we need to choose. Then management, like here we can enable the security kind of things or enter ID we can join, shutdown behavior, backups, patching. Okay, so these also will configure, but today I'm focusing more on creation and how to connect to those VMs. Okay, so even we can configure the CloudWatch alerts, not CloudWatch, Azure Monitor alerts, boot diagnostics, OS diagnostics, health monitoring. All these also we should enable for the production VMs. Then finally, we have like OS boot, like OS custom data, user data, or we can install the applications, any extensions, and these all the launch scripts, user data scripts, all this we need to configure. Okay, so then we can join to the host group, placement groups. Okay, so these all for the high availability also we need to set up. Then finally, we need to give the tags. So now if someone asks about like while creating the VMs, what are the steps we have is the basic details we need to provide, disk, networking, management, monitoring, advanced tags, review, and create. So these are all the options we need to set up. And once we done this, we're going to review and create those VMs. We need to review and create those VMs. So now it's going to perform a final validation, and the validation should be successful. Otherwise, it shows where we have the problem. Like it shows in a red symbol in the basic or disk where you have a problem. You need to solve that issue. Then finally, this is the summary page. You can see all that, what are the details you have chosen. Here it is going to display, and we need to accept the terms also. Then that VM is getting created for us. Okay. We have used SSH method of key. That is the reason that key pair is going to be downloaded for us. Okay, so that we got in the form of .pem file. What is the format we got here is, okay, say SSH key pair. So in the SSH key pair, what happening is we are getting private key with VM. Public key is residing. Okay, so we have a pair. It's a key pair is a combination of public key and private key, and we got the like two types of algorithms, RSA and ED 25519. So previously we have RSA only. Recently they have given ED 25519 also. Like these two are the two different algorithms. How the encryption is going to happen with those private keys. And security wise, like a 256-bit encryption will come with ED 25519. That is the reason it's recommended to use ED 25519 encryption algorithm. And once you configure this, we got a key. Like I given the name is maybe my Linux key, something, whatever the key I have given, I'm getting in the form of dot pem file. What is the meaning of that pem is? So here the extension of the file is dot pem. The pem stands for private enhanced mail. So what is the meaning of pem? Private enhanced
Enhanced.
mail. That is the format of the PEM. Okay, in the like open SSL format or open SSH format, Linux to Linux, if you want to connect, we can use .pem file itself. But when I want to connect from Windows to Linux, okay, so we need a software like Putty kind of tool we required. Okay, so Putty is an open source SSH tool. In order to connect to Linux servers from Windows, we can use. There are a lot of tools are there. Even now in the Google Chrome also there are such kind of plugins or extensions we have. From that also we can connect. But for the first 1 week, try to connect to this Linux mission using the Putty itself. Okay, what is Putty? So Putty is an open source.
To access the machines from Windows to
Yeah,
Linux.
it's an SH client. SH client. Okay, so then like now I want to connect from Putty. Uh, Putty is not supporting. Putty is not supporting .pem file. So Putty is not supporting .pem file and so Putty is supporting PPK file. Okay, .ppk file is supported. PPK stands for Putty private key. So what is the meaning of PPK? It's a
People,
Putty private key. So PEM is meaning of PEM. What is the extension of PEM?
private enhanced
Private
mail.
enhanced mail. Okay. So in the OpenSSL kind of format, that is in the Linux to Linux, directly from the Linux commands, you want to access another Linux mission, we can use. But Putty is not supporting PEM file. Okay. So we need to have .ppk file. We require .ppk file. And what is the extension of ppk is? Putty private key. So Putty private key, we can convert PEM to ppk using Putty gen. Okay, so now here we have two softwares, Putty, and when we install Putty, we are getting one more software called as Putty gen. Putty gen is used to generate the key pairs, or like we can use for the connection purpose. For that, we are going to use the Putty gen. And what Putty gen can do is, it is going to convert that PEM file to PPK file also. Means we are going to use the PPK, like PEM to PPK file we are converting by using Putty gen.
Gen.
Okay, so here we have two softwares, Putty and Putty gen we have. Okay, so then you can go to putty.org website, a very small software. So putty.org you can go, or like just verify Putty download. Like here we have the putty.org website. So from this, or we can use mobile external. There are a lot of clients. You can download the Putty and just click the installer. Okay, then so here I'm downloading MSA package, 64-bit MSA package. It's already installed, but these steps you need to do on your laptop. So when I install this Putty, automatically I'm going to get putty gen also. Okay, so this is the putty. Sorry, I think I clicked it 2 times. So now putty has been installed. Now from my Windows, I can open putty or putty gen, but this is putty gen, putty key generator. Okay, what is the purpose of putty gen is you can generate your own key pairs. Or second purpose we are using is we can convert
PEM file to PPK file.
PEM file to PPK file. Now with the uh, in Azure, what happened is when we created that VM, automatically key pair has been generated. Again, you no need to generate. Okay, what happened is already that key pair has been
Generated.
generated. Okay, so then what is going to happen is we need to just convert that PEM file to PPK file. For that, can you tell me the option whether we need to go for either generate or load? Which one we need to choose here?
Load.
Load we need to choose because already key pair has been generated and we didn't generated that. Who generated that?
Microsoft.
Already Azure itself has generated. Okay, then go to load. Then if I come to downloads, okay, by default the filter is with PPK, right? Make it all files. Okay, then my Linux key dot pem. Okay, so now can you guess whether we need to save it as a public key or private key? You need to say
Provide.
it's a private key. It's not a public key. Public key is already with that Azure VM. Okay, so now again I'll tell the steps. Once you install the putty, need to go to putty gen. Then here generate or load.
So already generated by Azure. So we have to
Yes, yes,
select the loader.
yes, yes, yes. So we're just converting that PEM to PPK. Already we have that PEM is also is a private key itself, but putty is not supporting a PEM format. Hence we are converting into
.ppk.
PPK format. Okay.
Okay.
So here go to load.
All files.
All files we need to keep the filter. Then my Linux key. Okay. So now here save as public key or private key.
Private only, na?
Yeah, save it as a private key.
Sir, now what about parameters, sir? Which one we have to choose? RSA, DSA?
No, no, these all already that's there in that. While generated, it's already came, right?
Okay.
Or
Yes, yes, sir.
state edit,
ED two
edit
double
double
two.
five one nine. That already created. While
Okay.
creating, that is important. So now this is going to save it as,
My Linux private key.
yeah, I'm going to save this as a PPK format. So PPK means putty private key. Okay. So once that key has been generated, now what I need to do is I need to open putty software or putty gen. Okay. So putty software. So now here we need to enter the IP address or host
Host
name.
name.
Now in this scenario, when I created this Azure VM, I'm going to get like in my
VM name.
resources, I can see that VM, my Linux server. So now here we got the public IP, right? We will get a private IP also, but over the internet, we can't access that. Okay, so here we got a public IP address. Now I'm going to use this public IP, SSH, authentication, the credentials. So we can't use that PPK file. Okay, So here in my downloads itself, I saved that. PEM file I can't use. PPK I'm giving. Okay. Again, I'll show. So I need to open the putty software. Then here I need to enter this public IP in the connection, SSH, authentication, credentials, browse for that.
Generated PPK
Yeah,
file.
yeah, open this. Now here it's going to be one security alert. We need to accept that. So now what is the username we have given? Azure user. I'll try to give here root. It won't accept that with the root account. So here it shows, right? Please log in as the user, Azure user rather than the user
Root.
root rather than the user root. Okay, so now that disconnected, then I'm going to putty again. Okay, so then go to SSH, authentication, credentials, browse. That in the downloads, I have my PPK, then open. Then the username is
Azure user.
Azure user. Then I'm able to log into this. I'm able to log into this. I can change the font and this appearance also. So now on this Linux also, so this is our Linux server. We can install the application softwares, deploy the websites, all these also we can do. So that is the purpose. We have this. Okay. So then like so uname -a will show us which Linux kernel we have. Okay. So like this here, we need to practice some Linux commands also. Then here I'm going to install one web server. I'm going to install one web server. So now this is the like Ubuntu, right? The packager, like just like in the Windows, Android, we have a Play Store or App Store. We have. So here now, like APT is the packager. That means you can go to Play Store, you can choose the packages whatever you want, right? Now here, apt is the packager on Ubuntu. From this we can install the packages. So previously we need to download the packages. We need to install maybe if it is Windows, we downloaded MSA kind of packages or Linux, we have RPM kind of packages. But now even Linux also is giving a packager from the apt or yum. Okay. And what is the meaning of sudo is super user do. We don't have the like root access. That is the reason I'm escalating the permissions by giving sudo. Okay, then sudo apt install, and I'm installing one web server. That web server is Nginx. What is the web server I'm installing? Nginx. Okay, so then here it is prompting me, do you want to continue yes or no? I can give yes itself here. So with this in my like a Ubuntu server, I have installed one package. That package is Nginx. And what is the Nginx purpose is? It's a web server. In Windows, we have IIS, Internet Information Services, to deploy our web-based applications or applications. In the same way here, Nginx is a pure web server we have. Then if I open that public IP address in the browser, I want to get that web page. But here I'm not getting that web page. You need to identify where exactly that has been restricted. So can you confirm me where it has been restricted?
NSG we need to allow the
In the
port area.
NSG, we need to open the port number because we open only 22 we have opened. Okay, then I'll go to my VM. I'll go to my VM. So this is my VM here. Then in this VM settings, like we have the network settings. So here we have the network settings. In the network settings, that my Linux server 436 is the network interface. And for this, we have attached one network security group. This is the network security group. My Linux server NSG has been created. And in this, we have the inbound rule and outbound rules. Okay, so now here we have SSH, we have with the 300 rule. 300 rule is the priority. Okay, so compared to the 65,000, this have the more priority. Okay, then I'm going to edit this inbound rule. Okay, and I'm going to add a new rule also. I'm adding here. Okay, in outbound rule, most of the traffic has been allowed. Most of the traffic has been allowed here. So now here I'm going to use this inbound and adding the rules we are adding. Okay, so then what is this NSG is? It's going to provide the firewall rules. We can configure allow or any kind of rules we can use. And this NSG has been attached to our Azure VM. Okay, so then here I'm going to use creating a port rule. So here I'm going to create a port rule and the inbound rule I'm adding. Okay, source is any. Okay, so now here my service is HTTP I want.
HTTP.
Yeah, as of now, we are not using any security. Okay, so we can use HTTP. But if we have any SSL certificate, we need to open HTTP, yes. Hello, and rule priority I have given 310 and give any description. Then I'm adding this rule. If I add this rule, once that's saved, we can open this. Okay, this Nginx page is going to be come for us. Okay, so like this, here whatever the inbound and outbound rules we have configured on that NSG have been attached to the VM and is going to define the rules we have. Is going to define the rules. Okay, so then what I'll do is I'll go to that VM. I'm going to delete this my Linux server.
Sir, instead of deleting, you can shut down, right? Then no
No,
charges.
even if you shut down also for the disk, all those they will charge.
Okay, even shut down also. Okay.
Even if you shut down, disk is used, right, in the Azure.
Not sure, sir. I'm not
No,
aware.
no, Azure disk is there. That is, hard disk is going to be persistent. For the CPU and memory, we can reduce, but disk, Azure need to charge for us. So that
Okay, okay.
30 GB disk is getting
But
created.
if you shut down, normal charges will be applied just
Yes,
for
yes.
this.
Yeah, for the initial, better to delete those. Because we have some
Is-
restrictions of IP addresses, all those also. Okay, once your work is done, better to clean up all the resources.
But
Next time
every
when
day
you
we
want, you
have to
can.
deleting all the things not
No, no,
possible.
just that is practice purpose, is not a big deal.
Okay, okay.
In the production, we don't delete unnecessarily. For here, practice purpose, delete the VMs. Even if the VM is stopped also, for the Azure disk, that billing is going to be calculated.
Okay.
So now I deleted that VM. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one Windows VM. Again, I'll go to Azure VMs, virtual machines. Okay, so creating the virtual mission, creating a virtual. Now here remaining all the options are same. So I'm going to use the same resource group, CloudSoft new RG. Then region East US. Available zone we can choose, as of now we choose the zone 1. So if we have the similar kind of server, in try to keep that in zone 2. Don't keep both in the same zone. Okay. So like this here, better to choose them in the multiple zones. And instead of Ubuntu, I'm going to choose here Windows Server. I can choose here. So Windows Server 2016 or 2019. Have chosen 2019 here. Then 1 CPU, 1 GB. Now here there is no SSH like a kind of authentication. Only password is supported for Windows. For Linux, it is supporting both. SSH key we can use or password we can use, but for Windows, only password itself. Then I'm going to use Azure user and I'm going to set one password also here. And 12 letters are minimum. Okay, so I kept that and validated also. Then in the inbound rule, if I open 22 or like other ports no use, we require to connect over RDP port. RDP stands for Remote Desktop Protocol. 3389 is the port number. And remaining all I'm going with the default options. Hence I'm going to validate and I'm going to create the VM. The validation is successful. Then I'm going to create the VM.
Disk VNet later you can discuss. Huh?
Yes, yes, we'll create. Once we create the VM, we'll discuss that. So now that VM got created. So normally in the real time, first we need to create the VNet, then we need to come to VM. But still they're given the option directly while creating the resource group itself. If there is no VNet, it's automatically creating that. Okay, this is our Windows server, and I'm going to take the RDP for this. I can connect through RDP. So here we got that public IP will get. If I go to my Windows server, I'll get the public IP. So this is the public IP we got. Then I can take RDP for that. Okay. So then I need to give the username and password. What is the username? Azure
As
user, and whatever the password I have set, that I need to enter here. Okay. So in this also you can enable IAS. Then open the network security group with the 80 port. Then you can see that IAS page also. So we given 1 GB RAM, that's very less resources, but for practice purpose, no problem. For the production, we'll choose very high-end minimum 16 CPUs, virtual CPUs, 16 GB RAM. Like this, we'll choose. So this is a Windows 2019 server. There I use uname-a, right, to show the kernel version. This is the Windows version we have.
Okay, it is showing Microsoft Hyper-V, that is the kernel.
That is the version name, that's it.
Okay.
Hyper-V data center version, they're showing as Hyper-V 2019. Okay, then I can install
IAS role.
IAS role. I can from the server manager. I'm going to install the IAS role. I can install, but by default that IAS page won't come from outside. Definitely we need to open NSG. We need to open. It's taking some time. Okay, so now in this, you need to choose web server role, web server IAS role, and even that IAS management console. All those also I'm installing here. Okay, so meanwhile this installation in that NSG, so here we have the network settings. So this is your NSG. By default, RDP itself is open. Okay, we need to add our own inbound and outbound rules we need to add here. Okay, so in this we need to open the port number. 80 should be open. Then only that web page is going to be that, or it's going to allow the traffic for us. Okay, in the network settings, like that NSG we need to open with the 80 port. So now here we got to create a port rule, inbound port rule, and services.
HTTP.
HTTP, and rule priority we are giving 310. What is that rule priority is also I will explain. As of now we have 300 and 310, but there is no problem because there is no conflict between them. Okay, so then once I copy that public IP, what is my expectation is that IAS page need to come to us.
Installation is not completed, I
Yeah,
guess.
that once it open, it will open here.
Sir, now we are getting private IP also, sir.
The private IP for internal communication we can use.
Do not shell request.
permission. There we given the sudo right, but that Azure user having admin rights have been there for that.
Hello.
PowerShell level is getting some issue. From PowerShell, I'll try to.
Just restart the VM once, sir.
Yeah, actually, next time we'll give more resources. So with the one CPU, 1 GB, we can't access also. I'm trying to set up the same thing from PowerShell. So here, install Windows feature. completely struck for us. Install. So what is the name is web server feature. Include management tools also. I'm trying to install same thing from PowerShell. Maybe if any pending updates or restarts are pending also, we may get that problem. Okay. So here it's clearly showing we don't have enough memory resources.
Yes, sir. We are giving only 1 GB, right?
Yeah. That we can solve this. You take a higher size of VM, then we don't get this problem. Okay.
Okay,
So
got it, sir.
one CPU and 1 GB is very less resource. We try to give more memory. Okay. So on the fly also we can change that size. That comes under vertical scaling. We'll try to increase this also, but today focus more on the creation, connections, and understanding the NHGs, all those options. Try to start, stop the VM, all these options. Try to perform.
Oh, sure, sure.
Okay, so try to create an account and try to perform these all the things. Okay,
Okay, sir. Got it, sir.
and that will Citrix ISO also share that ISO also. Maybe.
Sure, sure, sir.
We
Once I
can
am going to office and download the ISO and will share to you,
sure,
sir.
sure. Okay, okay then. Thanks for everything.